You're in a Warhammer 3 battle. Let's give a countercharge order to one of your Lancer units. This tells it to attack enemies that come near. But these other Lancers don't get a countercharge order. They will just behave like unmodded units in Warhammer 3. Now, imagine that your attention gets drawn to another part of the battle. You cast some spells, flank an enemy, maybe you zoom in to enjoy some stunning visuals. What happens to your Lancers and your cannons? In the vanilla game, units that you set as guards will do nothing unless you hold their hands. Do you ever want to shout at your generals? Learn to delegate, please! Perhaps it is time to try a mod for Warhammer 3. Attack-move and Countercharge doesn't fix everything, but it is a big step in the right direction. Attack-move and Countercharge allows you to lock in ordered locations for as many of your units as you want. Your units will attack enemies on their way to those locations. After they arrive, they will attack enemies that get near. How near? You get to decide. The default is about 50 meters to the front and less to the flanks and rear. You can modify this with configuration. The purpose of this mod is different than a mod like AI General 3. With this Attack, Move, and Countercharge mod, you maintain control over strategic decisions like which hill to take or which supply location to defend. You just give your units some freedom to attack things on the way without you needing to babysit their every action. More charging, less mindlessly walking into enemy combatants. Like, is this malicious compliance? Who hurt you this badly? I find this mod especially helpful in survival battles where there are far-flung critical locations to attack and defend. You can also use this mod with ranged units. If the ranged units are not in melee mode, they will turn to face enemies and attack using their ranged weapons instead of charging. A downside to using attack, move, and countercharge orders is that once you lock them in, those orders will override any new orders you try to give that unit. If you want to change an order, you must unlock it first. Scripting limitations in Total War games prevent me from unlocking the orders automatically. The padlock icon above the unit should help you remember, but it might take some getting used to. What if you don't like having the icon above your units? Well, good news! You can easily change this and other settings by using either the mod configuration tool or the config text file. I encourage you to look at the options available and to customize this mod to your preferences. Whoa there, Ice Guard. I like the enthusiasm, but your missiles slow enemies down with frostbite. You might want to keep firing your awesome bows a bit longer before charging. And you can. Just like with the icons, you can control the redirect radius using either the mod configuration tool or the text file. If you use hybrid units, watch how they behave if you give them a countercharge order while they are in melee mode. When in melee mode, this mod won't change how they fire their bows, so they won't automatically pivot to choose ranged targets while in melee mode. But when the enemy gets close, these Ice Guard automatically switch to their melee weapons and charge. For units with a flat firing arc, melee mode works well, but ranged mode is more troublesome. This mod tries to take visibility into account, but I have only found functions for alliance-wide visibility, not an individual unit's line of sight. If the terrain has hills, units like Streltsy might run forward to try to get a good shot. Another downside to this mod is that units can be baited into a clumped mob. I might try to experiment with ways to reduce this in the future. Even with its quirks, I love the Attack, Move, and Countercharge mod. It doesn't just help my gameplay, it also increases my immersion in the game. I would love to see the Creative Assembly add more functionality like this. When players can give more intuitive and meaningful orders, we are more free to enjoy the strategy and the stunning visuals in the game. New factions are shiny, but the game controls might be even more important to making the game fun and accessible. So tell me, what do you think?